because she normally doesn't like the stores I like. Like she calls Urban Outfitters. She'll go, what's the name of that store you like where everything looks washed already? And that's Urban Outfitters.
She's so right. And I get up and it was, whew, oh boy.
Was it like a bar show?
No, it was at kind of a club. It was kind of a club. It's a basement of a Mexican restaurant. It's a place called Candy's Boom Boom Room. Josh Nelson hosts it. Lovely guy.
Comedy places and the names.
Oh my God, yeah.
The names that they make comedians promote is just
the Chuckle Hut.
You hope for Chuckle Hut. It's
Do you?
like, I feel like Chuckle Hut is more standard than like you're saying. Like it could be like
The Boom Boom Room.
The Rooster T. Feathers is a real place,
Which is actually a good club.
It's amazing,
Yeah,
but it's like, how do we pick comedy names?
Why can't it just be like Todd's? You know? But,
Am I allowed to do this?
Oh my God, please.
Is this a moment? Okay.
Drink the tea. So by the way, and I'm going to tell everyone about the tea. Is it too hot?
No, it's so good.
So you are drinking Rishi's Cinnamon Plum tea.
So
it
good.
is an herbal tea. For those brewing at home, we brewed at 212. Now, it probably recommends, I'm trying to remember, probably about 4 to 5 minutes. I did it for 6 because I like my cinnamon and my plum. I like it.
Yeah, I do like to steep things extra too.
Do you, so like on a scale of like 1 to 10, how much do you drink tea usually?
It depends. I get on like kicks where I'll like drink it every day. Like
every day.
I at work, it's funny because it was right before COVID. It was right before like everyone shut down, but I was working in an office where everyone kept getting sick because no one would stay home long enough to get well.
Why?
And everyone they were just like a bunch of people going home to their tiny little petri dish children and getting sick like in rotation.
I have 1,000 thoughts about that, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it was like this massive open floor. And I also worked with people who would actively come into my office and like look like death and be like, I don't see what the big deal is. And be like, you look horrible. Like I'm wiping
This is the big deal.
all of this down. Like I would actively wipe down door handles in front of people shamelessly and be like, you're gross. Go home. I don't care. And so I started drinking immunity tea, like mushroom powder immunity tea that I like mix in with honey. And then
that sounds tasty.
It's really good. And I would do that with peppermint and honey ginger.
Love everything you're saying.
And so I got into a kick of drinking that like however many mornings, but I just haven't done it in a while because I have like too much stuff to do when I first wake up. I have more time in the morning. I'll probably get back to it.
If you don't mind me asking, and please feel free not to share, what are you doing in the morning? Is there like a morning ritual routine you do?
I mean, I have like a ritual that's just like getting up, cleaning my cat's litter box, making my bed. And then I have been working out like legit 15 minutes. Like I'm not joking. That
works though.
That's my thing, is that like I can be consistent at that level.
Which is great.
So max 15 minutes.
Great.
I work out. And I've been trying to do that in the morning instead of at night because I feel like it kind of looms over me. But if I get it done, it's like, I'm done. I don't care anything else that happens today. I did my 15 minutes. Like, I don't care. I made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the thing that I would try to do in the morning is like work out, shower, clean my cat's litter box, and then probably like chill and probably like listen. I because of my cat, but I like Swiffer a lot of mornings.
Yeah, we do.
You know, I like
we
clean. I'm a tidy person, so I probably will find something to clean if I have enough time in the morning.
You are like my girlfriend and you are the same.
It's just like this way.
But I want to get back to something earlier that you said. Because this really struck me, and I'm really curious about this. Was this from a young age that you always made the bed after you woke up, or is this like an adult thing? Is this something your parents were like, you need to do this?
I've always made my bed my whole life. You can't.
Really?
Yeah. you can't leave my house and not make like the way I grew up. Like even you make your bed before you go eat breakfast. Like you get up, you turn around and you make the bed. Like unless you're sick or you're going to change the sheets. Like that's the way. Yeah.
You would hate me.
I don't even think about it. Well, also it's funny because I just do it out of habit, but you sleep better when you get into a made bed.
I believe that.
You 100% do.
I am very odd. My sleeping is really odd. So I have a bad back, and about like 6-7 years ago, maybe no more than that, probably like 8 years ago, a chiropractor's like, he goes, you need to stop sleeping on your stomach. And I was like,
oh my gosh, I'm the same way.
I was like, I can't. And he goes, here's what you're gonna do. He goes, you know what a body pillow is? And I was like, sure. And he goes, cool. You need to get 2 of those. And I was like, 2? I have 1 body. And he goes, you put 1 on each side.
Yep.
He's like, it's like bumpers. And I was like, what? He goes, it's going to force you up enough when you're turning over. It'll wake you up enough that you will know, turn back. And I was like, really? I didn't think it was going to work. It does work. I cannot sleep on my stomach now. It doesn't let me because when I try and turn, I wake up and I go, can't do this. I've trained myself out of sleeping on my stomach now. But as a result, I have 1 body pillow. I didn't buy 2. I have 1 body pillow and I just keep 2 normal pillows on this side of me. So it stops me from turning.
What?
But that's why it's such a pain in the butt to make the beds. I have to pull these pillows back out.
I mean, I'd still do it. But I was given a similar diagnosis, but I just sleep with pillows underneath me. And I just sleep on my stomach in like a funny shape.
What? I was told I can't do it anymore.
I mean, yours is probably like better to like force your body to do, but I don't know if I kind of want to try it, but I kind of don't want to try it.
Let me ask you this. This is a weird question and tell me this is too personal. What, before I ask this, sorry, are you in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. When you first started seeing this person, I don't want to out names on the podcast, but when you, because I'm guessing not a comic.
No.
I didn't think so. When you first started seeing this person, did you have to kind of like slow play in the idea that you have a weird pillow situation? Because that's what I had to do. I had to be like, oh, how do I like break to her that like I sleep with like pillow guards on either side?
Honestly, I do feel like that's something that comes up dating as an adult.
Yeah.
I've definitely had multiple people, not specifically pillows, but like some kind of specific sleep situation that is pain related or whatever it is. Either they can't have people stay the night because they have like whatever kind of setup. Like there are people that have all kinds of stuff. So like, I mean, other than the fact that you can't cuddle, like what does she do? Just sleep on top of you? Like if she wants to like come cuddle in the middle of the night, does she like crawl over a pillow?
So this is a debate. This is a household debate.
Can she replace one of the pillows?
Well, can I? I mean, I suppose. Here's the thing.
I like cuddle logistics.
So do you? But here's the thing. Are you a sleep cuddler? Like once you're choosing to sleep, not pre-sleep. Like pre-sleep, everyone has a cuddle. It's fine. When you're going, I will like, hey, love you. I'm going to bed. Mm-hmm. Are you cuddling to fall asleep? Or are you saying this is when we separate?
Ooh, okay. I feel like this is a physical thing that I personally love.
Okay, talk to me.
In a relationship is when you make the unanimous decision to be like, we're asleep now.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. This is another personal question. So please feel free not to answer.
Why? Did you get into an argument about that? About when to like switch over?
This is a running conversation in the house. And my next question applies to this, and I'll explain why I'm asking you immediately. Do you sleep hot or cold or normal?
I'm freezing cold, and I emit so much heat. I can feel it. I can feel the heat leaving my body.
But like, you're cold.
Cannot feel my toes. Like I sleep with socks. One of my ex-boyfriends used to make fun of me because he was like, you sleep with so much clothes on. Like you sleep.
Are we talking like full sweatpants, sweatshirt, socks, like a whole?
Yeah.
And you don't
I'm
sweat?
Cold and I'll wake up at like 3:00. I'll wake up and take off like a hoodie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm cold most of the time. And it's so funny because my mom makes fun of me because apparently I used to do this when I was like a baby. I would take off one sock and I'll wake up.
You keep the other one.
Yeah. And I wake up and I'll take a picture and I'll be like, hey mom, look. And it'll be like, I took off one sock at some point in the middle of the night.
There's something that is so endearing about that story. I don't know why.
It's just your body doing weird comfort stuff that you've been the same person this whole time. That like I was like obviously had none of the life experience that I've had as an adult, but I'm still as the same as when I was like 1 and I was like, perfect.
One sock Davis.
And then going back to sleep.
It is crazy.
You're the same person.
You didn't get one sock as like a nickname.
I know. They never. Here's the thing. I have a lot of weird nicknames in my family. One sock is not one of them.
It's a great name.
I'm really surprised.
It's like a name. It's like like if you were. And I'm only thinking about this because I know you're from Baltimore, but it's almost like if you were like in The Wire, like One Sock Davis.
Absolutely, they would call me One Sock.
100%.
One of my uncles calls me Buttons. My dad's friend calls me Spoonie.
Spoonie.
I used to carry around a spoon when I was little. And I actually just recently tweeted about
pudding
this.
Everywhere? Like, why?
That's what my mom said. She took me to the like pediatrician and he was like, what's this about? And she was like, yeah, she just keeps carrying that spoon around. And if I try to take it from her, she cries. So I'm just letting her carry this spoon around.
Did you ever explain why you wanted the spoon?
I didn't talk. I was little. Like I was like, I'm into this. And my mom was like, okay.
Better that than other things.
Yeah. And the doctor,
better that than a knife.
And the doctor was like, well, I guess you never know when you might run into some ice cream. Like he was like, I don't
love this pediatrician.
Everyone was just on board with it.
That is,
except for my dad. My dad hated it. And I still am convinced that he like took it from me in the middle of the night because I like lost it at some point. It was really sad one day. And I think my dad took it because he thought it was weird. I think he was judging me from social norms. He was like,
kid.
I know. Because my mom said, what? She likes it. He was like, I'm not going to have my child carrying around no spoon. Like he thought I was a weirdo.
This is the same guy who does this.
Absolutely.
By the way, for those that are listening, you didn't just see that. I was quoting a Katrina joke about how her dad puts on chapstick.
My dad puts on chapstick weird and will still defend that. Just so you know.
But so why did I feel like, because the first time I saw you, I was like, this is a quote from Scrubs, but I literally, I saw you go, I don't know what it is, but she's got it. But I remember seeing you and I was like, oh, like she's been at this for a minute. But so I'm guessing you did stand up before you moved to LA?
I did stand up for 1 year and then I moved here. So I've been
Where were you doing
stand up? Florida. I started in Orange Park or Jacksonville. I grew up in Orange Park and then when I got older and moved back after I went to college, UF, go Gators.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
I moved back
Miami?
and went to what?
Is that Miami? I don't know where UF is.
Gainesville.
Gainesville. I've heard of that.
There's nothing there but the school, but
lovely.
I love it. But yeah, when I moved back, I lived in Jacksonville and started stand up at a bar called Rain Dogs that I still love and did a show at last December.
Oh, amazing.
And did it for 1 year and then moved here.
So when I saw you, you'd only been doing it for a year?
Like 2 maybe. If it was 2016, yeah, like 2.
Wow, you were good. I mean, you are good. I love that.
No,
you were good. You're terrible now.
I write. Like in terms of a lot of things that I envy in other comics, it's a lot of like organic things that I like. And I'm sure a lot of comics can relate to this, but I crush in my head. Like I will have organic sets in my, like I play out shows in my head in the shower, like uncontrollably.
Sure.
Like not ones that have happened, like ones that aren't real, like not something I'm referencing from the past, like real shows. And I'll be like, somebody will say something. I'll be like, ooh, I would have said that. And been like, man, if that happened, I would have been so funny. And I try to remember these really organic, like riffs that happen with imaginary people in my head. And I feel like I see people that do that on stage almost exclusively that I envy so much in like them being able to be that funny in the moment. And everything that you've said that I appreciate so much is like, I'm a writer. A lot of what I do is so like, prepared to a certain extent. Oh, wow. That at least I'm like plugging it into an organic moment, but like I know I write a lot of, you know what I mean? Yeah. What I want to say is like so deliberate that.
This is going to sound weird. I've never written a single joke.
What?
I write on stage. I can't write. Do you know Marlena Rodriguez?
Yes.
Yeah. So Marlena and I came up in Chicago together and I was having a conversation with her. We were on one of the West Side weekend shows. This was like a few months ago. And we were talking and she goes, I don't write down jokes. And I go, yeah, I don't either. And she then said something to me that has stuck with me for months and I cannot shake it. She goes, you know what's interesting? And I was like, what? She goes, Do you ever wonder why the two of us don't write down jokes and how much different or better we might be if we actually chose to do it? I'm curious if you'd ever take the time to sit down and think to yourself, why won't you sit down and write jokes? And is that a much bigger thing that you should be thinking about? Is why you refuse to do it? Mm-hmm. Is it self-sabotage? Is it fear that you can't actually write a joke? What is it? And I literally sat there and I go, yeah, I don't know. And then I was haunted for 3 months.
Yeah, I don't know. And then you drove home like this.
I did. You're kidding? I did. I drove back being like, oh my God. And Marlena, who is a lovely person, and she didn't say this to mess with me.
No.
Because she's the same way as I am.
Yeah, she's like doing the same self-reflection.
And I'm just like, crap. And I haven't stopped thinking about it.
That's interesting.
I don't write down jokes. It's just over time, I was like, oh, I have a good joke about, meeting Jess's family that just came from talking on stage and it came out
right.
once.
And so you would write down like Jess's family and know what chunk that means.
Yeah. I can write down, like I had the luxury of doing 30 the other day and had 6 words and was like, got it.
I mean, that's a good place to be, but also I would absolutely explore what Marlena was saying, because
why don't I do that? I don't know.
Because what would that 30 minutes be if you have ever written down
probably
what
better
you have about Jess's family or whatever? Just because you write something down doesn't mean your brain's going to be done with it.
I feel like when I write something down, it's not funny. People who write, so like a good example to pull someone out, and I say this with respect for this person, but like Robert Schultz writes down word for word what he's saying. Okay. Now when he does it, it's funny. Okay. But yes, you can absolutely tell.
But that goes with like his delivery.
That's his shtick. You know what I mean? But he's able to do that. If I wrote down word for word the way that he does, I would sound stupid.
But you also have to find your way to write. So don't write that way.
So how do you write?
I write even kind of that specifically, but I feel like the way I write even helps my diction, because I write exactly the way I talk at first, with likes and all this and ums and dots and pauses and actions. I write it out like it's a script.
Oh, wow.
That's how I write jokes sometimes. So it'll be like, act out this, pause, into. Like I write different segues for stuff. Because I feel like I will very much get bored with like the same order. So I try to mix things up in the way that I connect my jokes even. So I'll think of something and then be like, oh, actually, I'll do that into this joke. And I'll just write word into this and then write like a new punch up or whatever. But you don't have to write that way. Because it's like, have you ever done free writing?
No. That's something I want to do. Did I tell you this year I wanted to do morning pages?
No.
I didn't do it.
And I've never read any of those books or anything, but just constantly forcing yourself to write whatever comes out of your head in terms of thinking. I don't like doing it with the intent of trying to come up with something funny, but if literally you're just trying to get over not writing, just write. Like, and with no intent seems like something that might be a good exercise.
It is. And I want to.
Because I don't get like good jokes or content out of free writing, but if I'm just getting over the hump of being able to connect my brain to anything other than what I thought of on the way there, because like there's no way your brain's not going to come up with more time than on the way there.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So. I also feel like I could talk for 30 minutes alone about Jess's family, but then I have to go through that whole process, which is a huge pain in the ass, which if I write a lot more, I have to write probably 15 to cut it down to 5.
Right. And that 5 will be good and you'll have a better 5 than 10 minutes before. And then your 30 is a bunch of 5-minute strong ass chunks instead of whatever happened to come out. And then whatever you think of on the way there that you write in one word becomes what you open with. And you might just not, take out some middle joke or something, but you have something fun and loose up top, and everything else after that is polished.
I mean, I do get to a polished point, but I'm probably taking a pretty roundabout way to get there, which is probably not great. But by the way,
so it might cut down your time.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I was going to say it'll definitely make me more efficient. But speaking of efficiency, I do want to take us to the first segment because I haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I forgot.
No, well, welcome to the first segment.
Thank you.
It's called the Newly Friend Game. It's like the Newlywed Game, but we're friends. Even though I think in one state we might be married, but I think we're friends in most. So the way this works, it works very similar to another game that was a famous game show. I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to write down your answer on this whiteboard. You're not going to say it out loud.
Okay.
I'm going to write down what I think your answer was.
Okay.
Then we're going to flip boards, see if we both have the same thing. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing for me. I'll ask me a question. Now, we haven't talked about this on the podcast yet, but from what I believe, you co-host a podcast about art history.
Yes.
Podvant Garde?
Yes.
Love it. So this question is going to be around art history.
Okay.
Now, you are going to know a lot more than I do in this area.
Doubt it.
But good.
We might be.
My question for you is, who is your favorite artist?
Oh, okay.
We'll say painter, because I don't want to say artist, because artist opens up to everything.
I was about to say.
So we're going to say painter, and don't say it out loud.
Because also painter did fuck me up.
Well, if I had said artist, are you saying it would have opened sculptors and things like that?
No, you asking it that way made me realize that I like a lot of photography.
Oh.
And others, so I have to...
If you want,
Well, no, because I think that guy counts, because I'm messed up, because it's like I love illustrated, like nothing is paint. No, I got it.
Okay, you ready? Flip your board on 1, 2, 3. What'd you get? Oh, okay. So Katrina said Chuck Close, and I said Frida Kahlo. So I was, so talk to me about Chuck Close. I don't think I know Chuck Close.
So Chuck Close does photorealism paintings, I think. And he has one that the reason that I came about doing this podcast that I do, Podvant Garde, with my two friends who are art history majors, is because I am a person who loves art on such a guttural base level. Like I don't know anyone. I barely know people's names. I like recognize art from being drawn to it in different places. Like I'll learn an artist by being like, oh, I stared at one of their paintings somewhere else. And that's when I realized that I like an artist. Like I go off of everything just being like, oh, I end up staring at this painting. And there's a Chuck Close in LACMA of an old man who's not that old, just like an older man. He looks kind of like a nicer Eric Clapton with like gold rimmed glasses.
Yeah, he's not coming across as that nice in most recent years. I'll say that.
But the coloring of like his gray blondish hair, like the colors, the details of it, I've gone to LACMA and stared at that painting for so long, many multiple times that I feel like people probably think I'm insane. And I know that that's probably not like basic, but like a more well-known person, but I will pick it just based on like how long I have stared at that painting and just been like fascinated by the talent that it takes to make something, because I appreciate art on that level that like I'm paralyzed by it.
Oh wow.
Like I was that kid. Like my mom said she used to come in my room and I would be surrounded by paper with like one line on it, and she would be like, what's wrong? And I'd be like, I keep messing up. And she was like, okay, like you need to relax. Like I love drawing, but I can't get over the way that lines look individually to me. So like I look at art sometimes in the way that like this person saw some line that looked like nothing and either had the foresight or like kept going until it looked like this man's face. But these are really just individual lines, like in a certain shape that it creates an image. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my favorite painter is Diego Rivera. So that was going to be what I wrote.
That's good, because I do love Diego Rivera. And there's another, again, I can see it in my head, would never remember this person's name, but they're in a room somewhere, possibly in LACMA in LA. There's Diego Rivera, is it like a couple works, but there's another guy in between. Like there's a Diego over here and then there's another guy right here who I have a picture of his painting in my phone probably 3 separate times and I still don't remember, but it's like a nice abstract paint. But yeah, I like abstract stuff that I'll look and be like, oh, that's not really paint. Sometimes it's paint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like photos a lot. There's a sculpture called Smoke that I'm obsessed with at LACMA that's just this like big black octat, like hard shaped structure.
I don't go to Lackman enough. I go to the Broad the most.
And see, I don't get in there as much.
Really?
I go there for like special things. Although last time I went there, a black lady braided her hair live and then whipped a man with it.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. So you're saying braided her hair live, and I go, oh, interesting. But then like that took such a sharp left there.
It was wild.
Like a dangerous area. Okay.
See, I like all the different weird like obviously photography, performance art, videos,
Oh my Lord. All that shit. Okay, let's go back to art. I'll ask you this. For me, I'm gonna have to think of this because I don't know what my own answer is. What would you say is my favorite artistic period?
Ooh, that's gonna be my question for you.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Don't tell me, write it down, but I need to think now. Okay, you ready to flip your board?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, flip. Oh, okay.
And I should have done so. It's so funny because as I looked, I was like, all of the art that I've seen since I've been here, I should have picked something more current.
Oh no, it's fine.
Did 1960s and then
well, you said 1800s, which I love. Yeah. I said, when is Impressionism? Maybe it was in the 1800s. I don't know. You would know.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I should, but I don't. When were Impressionists? I don't know. Oh wait, because when was Rococo?
So hold on.
Minus the Arcade Fire song, which is also great.
1867 to 1886.
Hell yeah!
You're in.
Technicality.
You're in. I feel good about it. And just to give you Rococo, let's see.
Yes, because that's a word that Jordan, my co-host, says a lot. Yes.
Rococo, 1740 to 1770.
Oh, okay.
But you got the main one.
I got one. Yay!
So I love Impressionism because when I think about, and I swear we don't have to talk about art much longer, but when I think about art, I find it interesting that someone is talented enough to be able to capture a singular moment in time. I think that is like the hardest thing in the world because time is fleeting, and yet this person is so talented that they were able to put this one moment in time immortalized. And I think that is so cool and such an undervalued talent. I don't care if it's in museums. How are people not talking about this every day? Like, this person took a moment in time and immortalized it for everybody. Wow, how crazy is that? You know what I mean? No one's immortalizing us talking right now, but so cool. So I
mean,
always,
technically.
Yes. No, yeah. What am I saying? It's being recorded on video and it's on audio wherever you get your podcasts.
Because it's time capsuled hard.
It really is. And then I said Rococo because I love the light blues and golds, and I'm really into all that.
Okay.
It's fun.
I like even you saying pop art. I do like Liechtenstein's a lot.
So I said pop art for those that are listening. I said pop art is my number 3. I love Liechtenstein. My sister one year went as a Liechtenstein painting for Halloween.
Oh, that's fun.
She did like the little dots on the face.
I like saturated colors, but that aren't necessarily like pop art. I like in ways like you're saying, obviously because it's pop, but like what it represents, or it'll make me laugh or whatever, like cheeky ways, but like there's a lot of older stuff that I like because the colors are like rich. Like I like the darkest version of every color. Like I like green, but I like hunter green. You know what I mean? So like if all the colors are like deep, I'm probably into it.
You know, Jess made a joke the other day that when we first met, one of the red flags about me was that one of the sets of sheets I had was hunter green. And I was like, I don't understand why that's like a red flag.
Why is that a red flag?
And she's like, no one should have hunter green sheets. And I was like, but I liked hunter green.
If anything, she should have been happy that you had multiple sets of sheets.
Don't everyone have multiple sets of sheets? Most people? No? Most guys? No, we don't. Okay, nope.
First off, you can go into a guy's room and be like, okay, so your sheets came with a top sheet.
Of course.
Where is it? Like, there will be just a fitted sheet, or like a fitted sheet, but then a quilt. Where's the top sheet? Like, what kind of process do you have where the top sheet is missing?
I get irrationally angry
so often
at people who claim I don't know if you ever met Lizzie Beck. She's okay.
I don't think so.
She makes a wild claim. Wild. Honestly, I'm going to go as far as saying irresponsible claim that the top sheet is completely useless. She goes, I don't use it. To me, it might as well be curtains. And I'm like, excuse me.
What does she sleep with?
So she sleeps fitted sheet, duvet with a duvet cover. And she goes, what's the point of a duvet cover? I go, what do you mean, what's the point? She goes, well, you just use that. It's essentially your top sheet. And I said, no. What if you get too hot under the duvet? You still have your top sheet.
Nothing. Right.
And she goes, no, I just don't. And I was like,
You're a vampire.
So I said to her, we were at a mic, and I literally said in the mic, I go, I've heard a lot of offensive things in comedy. Okay. If you've ever been to the Improv, you'll hear everything. Okay. I used to do the show up, go up at the Comedy Store.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard everything.
So funny.
This is the most offensive thing I've ever heard. Comedy.
I mean, it's wrong. You know?
It's factually not correct.
Right. It's just wrong.
Yep.
Because you're also dirty.
You're gross.
Like as a person. Like even if you are fresh out of the shower and into the bed, you sweat when you sleep.
100%.
We create bacteria. We're not a clean existing organism.
Absolutely not. I want to shower thinking about this conversation.
When I think about the regularity with which most people do or do not wash their duvet cover.
I wash it every time I wash my sheets.
Oh, see, I don't know if people do that, Josh, because I don't do a duvet cover because I don't have a duvet anymore because they drive me nuts.
Quilt or a blanket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because fitting it inside the thing, I can't do it anymore. So it makes me so mad.
We don't have time on this podcast, but what I want to say to you is at some point
we're going to do sheet conversations.
Oh my God. Spin off sheet conversations. Spin it off. I'm good. No, so Jess hated putting on duvet covers. She hated it. And then I taught her how I do it. And she was like, I never thought about doing it that way. And I go, it's so easy.
I mean, I'll slide it on. I just don't I can just have a quilt. Well, also for me, they're very hot.
I use an all seasons one.
Oh, I need a quilt is thinner and I just do multiple layers.
Well, you're also listen, I sleep just in boxer briefs. So
the duvet's doing the work that all my clothes are doing.
Yeah, but also I sleep so hot. Like Jess calls me a furnace. I sleep very, very hot. Which is why, going back to our earlier conversation, I don't want to be cuddled when I'm sleeping. I'm like, get away from me.
I get it.
I will heat up to the point where Jess sometimes says that she'll turn over in her sleep and she gets too close to me, even through the pillows. Yeah. She's like, I feel like I'm in front of a heat lamp. Yes. She's like, I don't like it.
I will want to cuddle someone and know that I'm making them hot.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Which is weird because
I want to cuddle you so bad. Sometimes I just put one foot on my boyfriend.
I've had that done to me.
I love you.
Yeah. Just to know, just to say, hey, we're both here.
Yes.
We're both here.
You can just have your feet touch. It's so nice.
You're both here. You're here for it.
You can cool off and then you just touch toesies.
Yeah. Oh my God. 100%. There are times where
so funny.
I don't want to blow up Jess's spot, but there are times where
Jess's spot is officially blown.
I know, I've blown her up.
There should be a segment called the Jess Spot, and you just blow it because you opened up that
sexual.
way. I didn't think about that. Sorry, Jess.
No, listen, she's gonna hear this. She's gonna hate you forever. No, I'm just kidding. She likes you already. I don't think there's ever been a guest I bring on where she's just like, don't care for them.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the lightning round?
Yes. As ready as I'll ever be.
So question 1, what is a favorite ritual of yours? So mine is make brewing tea. What would be a ritual of yours that you like? Because you already named some. I
know. I'm a very ritualistic person.
I love it.
My favorite one, probably smoking and watching home renovation shows.
Lovely.
Like cleaning. I like organizing things. Oh, I like making lists. I'm a list person. So at the end of the day, I smoke and remake my list and look at my planner, and I have a dry erase board that I write things on. I have that's probably my favorite ritual.
Similar.
Reorganizing and lists.
I dump my brain before I go to bed at night, so I don't have to think about it.
Same.
We have to talk about that offline. What is a running bit with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
Felicia Folks.
Love
fellow comic.
Felicia. I was just on a show with Ben last week.
One of my best friends. I love her so much.
So funny.
She's fantastic.
I should have her on. She's a delight.
She's amazing. One of her bits is that she will come up to you right before you get on stage as if she doesn't know that you're about to get on. She knows that I'm next. And as they're coming to the stage this next time, she'll be like, oh, hey, can you hold my phone? And try to give me something. But I always am I can't, but she knows that. And so I get stressed out because I'm like, wait, what do you, and I'm like, fuck you. And that's probably one of my favorite bits because it puts my brain in such a place, but then it also makes me laugh right before I get on stage because she messed with me.
I'm trying to remember who did it to me. It might've been Justin Clark actually, now that I think about it. But right before I got on stage at a venue I had not performed at before, they were like everyone was cheering. He's like, all right, your next comic. And he goes, by the way, they told you the kind of the trick with the mic and the lights at this one. And I was like, And he was like, yeah, oh, you know what? You'll probably figure it out. It's just a little weird thing, but you don't want to mess it up. Anyway, and I was like, what?
That's so much more terrifying.
I was like, what?
That's really funny,
I got off stage and I literally go, you're such a piece of shit.
That's hilarious. And when you got off, was he just sitting there with his little kids?
Now maybe it wasn't
smirking?
Justin Clark. It was like 2 years ago, but whoever it was, I was just like,
that's
what
very funny.
The actual fuck? Caleb does shit like that all the time.
The counter of that is Felicia, if she knows, if like either of us know the one other is really nervous about a show or has a big show, we'll just text each other, hey, you're really funny.
Oh, I love that.
And it's really nice. Like if you're in a green room and she knows I'm like not talking because I'm about to throw up, she'll just be like, oh, hey, you're really funny.
Oh, I love
Or she'll
that.
like text me. It's nice.
She doesn't text me. Number 3, can you do an impression of one or both of your parents?
Oh my God. Yes.
Hit me.
I would.
And if they're bad, it's even better.
It's funny. My mom, I feel like I can't really do because we are more, it's funny. I am just like my dad physically. I look like my dad.
Sure.
My impression of my dad, I will say my dad once when I was in high school, I was going somewhere and I was like dressed up and he went, you look really pretty. And I went, thanks, Dad. And then I went, you're just saying that because I look like you. And he went, huh. And just laughed because I was right.
I love your father.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
And then my mom, I feel like I can't really do her voice because I probably have a version of her voice.
Oh.
Like I feel like people laugh at me not the hardest, like in real life, people laugh at me the hardest when I'm doing observations like my mom.
Yeah.
So like, oh, okay, I'll do my mom. Like if I go to my mom in a store that I like, because she normally doesn't like the stores I like she calls Urban Outfitters. She'll go, what's the name of that store you like where everything looks washed already? And that's Urban Outfitters.
She's so right. Oh my God.
So like I'll go to her in a store and I'll go, Mom, this shirt's only like $20, like it's on sale. And she'll go, that's all it's worth. And she just goes back, like you can't. She's
a superhero.
So the older I get, I will say things like that in real life where I'll be like, well, why did they do that? And someone laughs and I was like, I was literally just asking a question, but I'm accidentally turning into my mom. Yeah. And just doing hard ass observations in a falsetto.
I love your mother. Okay. 4th question. We have one to go after this. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there a moment that sticks with you?
Ooh, because what is imposter syndrome when you don't think you deserve the thing?
When you doubt your abilities, you feel like a fraud because you're getting an opportunity
all the time,
something
dude.
you don't think you deserve. All the time.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a version of that because I feel like everything's relative.
Okay.
So like people people think, oh, you're pretty. I'm like, to you.
Oh.
Like, which is great.
Yeah.
You're telling me that on this basis that you like the way my face looked, but like at any point, like Rihanna is like undisputed a beautiful woman to so many people. There's still someone that would rather kiss a dead dog than shake her hand. Like just science-wise, there's someone who like unfettered would be like, oh, I just don't think that that's a face I like. So like I take things that way
and with comedy too?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that crowd liked me. Like I did well that night.
Interesting. That's a very healthy way to think about it. I don't do that. Question 5, your final question. I usually ask, what is your favorite tea or comfort? But I know you drink tea. So what is your favorite tea?
I like peppermint. That's okay. So my favorite tea is probably, flavor wise, I don't love that mushroom immunity tea.
Yeah.
But I like that I feel like it's like something
like
good
helping.
in my body.
Yeah.
So probably like that. And I like peppermint and honey and ginger. Like honey ginger is good.
Yeah.
But you have even opened me up to like, I need to go out there and start trying some new teas. Cause I have every once in a while, especially in the winter, I'll like try one somewhere and be like, oh.
Well, let me tell you this.
More teas.
Maybe, and you don't have to take me up on this offer, but I do this for other people. I have to-go tea bags. So if you ever text me and go, hey, I want to try a few teas. Do you have a few herbals? I can send you a list. You can be like, I like these. Can I try them? And I'll just make little samples for you and just hand you some tea bags and you can try them. And if you like them, I'll just text you what the name is and where to get it.
That's so nice of you.
Listen, I like evangelizing tea to the world.
No, I want to get one of those sexy ass teapots you have.
When is your birthday?
I'm not gonna.
Just asking. I'm not gonna buy you one. I just don't know what your birthday is. No, but I do. as we don't necessarily like give like huge thank you gifts to guests, but on your birthday, I'd buy you that. Katrina, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
This
was so much fun.
Yeah, we'll have you again.
Yay.
That was Katrina Davis. You can find her on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Katrina Savad. That's Davis backwards. You can find her comedy special, Figuring It Out, on Amazon Prime. Steep Conversations is produced and edited by Elliot G.B. Our associate editor is Martin Alvarez. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping.
I love murder documentaries.
Sure.
But I also, with the rise in popularity of murder, have gotten to a same place with crime in general. Because not even just murder. I love fraud. I love all the crime. Like, I'll learn about all of the different, like,
give me all the stuff.
I realized the other day that I've listened to way too much crime stuff because I was listening to a podcast and they mentioned Rico and I went, oh shit, he fucked up, because it is so hard to prove Rico. So it's like, I know that I've watched way too many.
I should have asked all about murder.
I've watched way too many, because that Rico is like a fraud one, but it's like the one they get mobsters on sometimes. But it's super
like
hard to
Capone
prove.
Got it on,
yes.
what, tax evasion?
And so I was listening to an American Greed and I was like, oh, this guy was an idiot. They got him on Rico. He was super messing up. And I was like, I can't believe that that's like a mentality that I have now.